The tour guide just kind of left us to our own devices in the middle of the historic center. I was a fair distance away from my hotel and didn't really know where to go. I was lost and confused and didn't know what I wanted to do next, but I had gotten off the path and needed to find my way back to a place that was more recognizable. So as soon as I got to a place with Wi-Fi, I ordered an Uber to take me back to a more familiar place. The driver spoke very positively of the pupusa in El Salvador. If you don't know what pupusas are, they're these things that you split open with your fingers to get to the moist inside. And once there, you can put things inside and then eat it out from the middle.
Yeah. Crazy pupusas.
My driver said that the best pupusa was street pupusa. So my mission was clear. I had to go on the hunt for street pupusa. I figured that if street pupusa was so popular, that just retreading the path that the tour guide had taken me on would at some point bring me into contact with it. So I started in the historical center. The workers were making great progress on the Easter salt mats, and it was really cool to see. I couldn't stay to admire it too long, as finding street pupusa was my top priority. My search brought me back to the indoor market. I looked around carefully but didn't see anything. Next was to check the outdoor market again. There were tons of vendors. Surely one of them was selling pupusa. I didn't see any though. My search had made me walk a lot, and I knew if I were to continue it, I would need to be energized, so I stopped at the Salvadoran equivalent of Chick-fil-A. Hard to go wrong with fried chicken, and this place certainly got it right. I felt rejuvenated and quickly went back out in pursuit of pupusa. People had begun to gather around the Easter salt mats to watch them come together. The salt mats filled me with Easter hope and compelled me to persevere in my search even as the hot sun beat down on me. I came across a McDonald's and lots of people walking around. I thought to myself, perhaps I was in too busy of an area to find street pupusa. Perhaps I needed to get away from the crowds and search in some more discreet areas. So I moved away from the very crowded public areas, and sure enough, I had found it. Pupusa. It was an older lady, and she was very excited to offer me a taste of her pupusa. I had never tried this delicacy, and I enjoyed watching her make it. I decided to fill mine with jalapenos. Once they were ready, I didn't understand the concept of splitting the pupusa open with my fingers, so she did it for me.
Gracias. Gracias.
After she opened them up, it was time to dig in. It was delicious. She was very happy with how much I enjoyed eating her pupusa and gave me a complimentary coffee as a thank you. Having indulged in one major aspect of the Salvadoran culture, I was excited to see more. It felt like a good time to repent for my sins, so I went to the cathedral that we had passed during the tour. It was perhaps the capital's most recognizable building, and I needed to see what the inside looked like. I wasn't supposed to film, but I couldn't help myself. It was a beautiful cathedral, and I got to see what a mass service looked like. It was a solemn moment watching the service, and I was a little self-conscious as to how I was dressed. I powered through it, though. Having just been through something holy, I felt the Spirit would carry me through something unholy. Government offices. Well, not really. It was the National Palace and used to be government offices, but now is a staple building in the heart of the capital. It was an impressive building with windows overlooking the historic square. The interior of the building was impressive. It had an open roof in the common area that let the sun in. Walking around the palace gave me time to reflect. El Salvador is not a rich country, and many people live in poverty. Yet here I was, an American tourist, admiring the building that once housed the very people whose policies led to that poverty. I suppose that's the sad irony about a building like this. The hands that built it likely weren't even allowed entry into it once it was done and in use. This majestic building full of art and beautiful interiors, and now tourists walking around admiring its construction, was an exclusive club that the very people who built it were never allowed to be a part of. Probably, anyway. I mean, I don't really know the history of who worked in here and what they did. Maybe they did great things for the people of El Salvador. I didn't take the guided tour, so I have no idea. It was an interesting thought, though, that reframed my mindset on where I had just been before, the cathedral. I said in episode 1 that I was in the process of reconnecting with my faith, but I didn't know exactly how that would manifest itself. But as I looked out at the beautiful cathedral, I thought, that was a building just like the one I was standing in that was built by the hands of people who likely didn't have very much. They didn't have much but their faith. And this was a building that would let them in, that would let everyone in, including a guy in a flamingo Hawaiian shirt and baseball cap. It was very interesting to think about, and my thoughts persisted as I approached another church delivering a solemn service. I was being welcomed into these buildings for no cost, all because the people here believed in a sense of togetherness. The sun had gone down, and people gathered for the celebratory Easter march down the beautiful salt mats. It was going to be a joyous celebration of the divine, and right as it was about to start, I turned my cameras off. It was an event that should not be experienced through a video on social media, but something that everyone should experience in person. So, just like me, I'll leave it up to you to do just that.